Welcome back student, this is third lecture on EMI. In previous lecture we started like types of what EMI, okay. So I discussed three types with you, one is called static, one is called dynamic and what periodic. So static EMI already I discussed with you, which in that topic generally mainly we learn about what self-induction and what mutual induction, right. Okay, so today's topic will talk about what dynamic or motional EMF, okay. So second type of EMF we are learning, we can call it dynamic, or you can also call what motional EMF, okay. Due to the motion of a conductor, some EMF is induced when you move this your conductor inside a magnetic field, okay. So that type of EMI is called what motional EMF, okay. Yes, look here. Okay, so suppose I am saying that what you can write like a straight conductor moving through some magnetic field, okay. Okay, you have a conductor, you have a wire, anything is moving through a magnetic field, okay. Yes, so then what's the EMF induced is given by this small formula BLV. BLV, magnetic field, length of the conductor and what velocity of the conductor, okay. Look here, V is what velocity, easier to say, velocity of conductor, okay. Yes, what is L here is the end to end shortest length, just like displacement of that given conductor, okay. You have straight wire, then length L only. If you have like some other shape of wire, then you need end to end straight distance, okay. Yes, V. Here you can write like this way also, sin theta also you can write, but generally always you will talk what that magnetic field should be perpendicular to what your wire, okay. Suppose we will see some example here. Look here, before this what you see, this is a EMF induced, is called motional EMF due to the motion of the conductor, okay. Magnetic field, length of the conductor and what velocity. Apart from the EMF, this EMF, some other question also they can ask you like current, okay, induced current, like we have done for the starting topic also, same here they can ask you. So is E by what R, right, EMF induced by resistance, so you can also write BLV by what R, that's your answer. Then they can ask you what force, they can ask you force required to move conductor, how much force we need to remove that conductor inside that given magnetic field with the given velocity. So force is what, look here, a force on a conductor, last topic you learned is called BIL. A conductor is placed in a uniform magnetic field, then how much magnetic force acting, BIL, remember this formula BIL. Let's replace the value of I from here, so it becomes what, look here, B square L square, correct, into V by R, correct only. Let me check it, you placing the value of I here, so I is what B square, L is there, L square, V by R. So you see that here direct numerical also they can ask you, you see that force is directly proportional to what your velocity, okay. Yes, then they can ask you power required, power, or they can ask you, or what they can, rate of heat generated, okay. Yes, power and rate of work or heat are same thing only. Power is what, force into velocity, right now, force into what velocity. This is a force formula, multiply with velocity, so you get B square L square V square by R. So these are the total questions they can ask regarding the conductor moving through a magnetic field, means motional EMF will be produced, correct. Okay, now see what we see here, we need to find the direction of the EMF induced or direction of the induced current, okay. So we have a rule here, I'm talking direction of induced current, okay, induced current. Yes, first before rule I tell you very important point. Look, our conventional current, normal current, how it flows from low potential to what, high potential, okay, low potential to high potential. No, I said wrong. Okay, and I'm talking about what? Induced current. Yes, induced current, how it flows? It flows from low potential to high potential. But our conventional current, normal current, that always flows from what? High potential to what? Low potential. Okay, I said initially wrong, so I'm writing in words here so that it doesn't confuse. What is the direction of induced current? Remember here, induced current flows from what? High potential, low potential to what? High potential. Now it's correct. I said initially in words wrong. Okay, be careful. So what is the direction of induced current? It flows from low potential to what? High potential. Keep in mind, induced current. But if you talk normal current also called conventional current, that flows from high potential to what? Low potential. Now I am saying is correct. Okay, yes. So induced current, how it flows? From low potential to what? High potential. Keep in mind. Okay, so we have a rule, which rule is called Fleming's right hand rule. This rule gives the direction of the induced current in a conductor when it's moving through a magnetic field. Correct, na? Yes. So look, what this rule says, your right hand, okay, thumb shows velocity, forefinger or index finger shows direction of magnetic field, then middle finger shows the direction of the induced current. Okay, so I'm writing here, your right hand thumb, that shows what? Your velocity. Okay, your index finger, that shows direction of the magnetic field. Then your middle finger will show what? Direction of induced current, or you can also say what? Or you say direction of high potential point. Okay, high potential end. Yes, because induced current flows from low potential to high potential. So either say that middle finger will show you direction of induced current or direction of what? High potential. So this is your hand, right hand. Okay, to understand, see, we see some example. Okay, so we have 3-4 type of questions here, patterns here, and very nice pattern. So let's see. First, direct question. This also they can ask an exam that we have to find just direction of the induced current on the given wire. Okay. So first type of question we are doing where they says that find the direction of induced current. Okay, find direction of induced current, or they can say high potential. Okay, and suppose case 1, some field is given like this one. This is a field, and I'm saying I have some conductor. Let's say this is a wire. This is a wire. Okay, this is a end A, this and what B. This is moving in this direction with what? Velocity V. Then what's the direction of induced current in this wire? Okay, let's see. This is what your hand. Okay, so let's see, velocity. Okay, I have to adjust like this way. Field is going inward. This finger shows index finger shows field going inward, thumb showing velocities, conductor is moving towards the left. So my middle finger is what? Upward. Correct, na? Yes, upward. Adjust your finger like this one. Field going inward, velocity towards left. So this finger is upward, means direction of the induced current in this wire in given situation will be like upward. Current is flowing from A toward B. So what is direction here? A toward B. So either they can ask you what is direction of current, or they can ask you which point is what? High potential. So B point is B end is what? High potential end, right? Okay, let's see like this. This is given dot dot dot. This is a field direction, and I'm saying that conductor is falling like downward. Okay, this is a velocity direction, A end, B end. So what is the direction of the induced current or high potential? Okay, so let's see. This is your hand, adjust it. So like this, is falling downward. Correct, na? Thumb showing velocity downward, and this finger shows field, which is what? Outward. Yes, outward dot dot field. So direction of current flow is what? That way. Okay, so current flowing is what? In that direction in this wire, from B to what? B to what? A in this case. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, let's see some more example. Suppose I give direction of the current, then I'll ask you field. Let's see this example. I say that this is some resistance and this is some conductor, okay, conductor A and B. Suppose this conductor is there and conductor moving in this direction, velocity given to you, and this is direction of current in this like upward. Okay, so in this case they're saying find direction of what? B. What is the direction of magnetic field? What is given to you? Direction of current flow, okay, and what is given? Velocity direction given. So we have to find direction of field. Let's see, velocity. So look here, velocity towards left, direction of current shown by this finger, middle finger upward. So field should be what? Inward. It means the field here is what? What type of field? Inward field. Correct? Yes, inward field. Okay, these are the example to find what? Direction. Okay. Now second type of question I am doing. In that question what they ask? Question based on like length. This is very important. I said length is what? End to end the shortest length, right? So some question I do there as let's say like this. Like a wire is bent into given shapes. Find EMF induced. So wire is turned into what? Some shape. Let's see what shape they have turned. So I am giving some example, like example 1. One wire you have turned into a semicircular loop, okay, like this one, and this is placed inside some magnetic field. I am saying this is a magnetic field. I should not show direction of current here, okay, and this loop is moving suppose downward somewhere, okay. Yes, radius of this loop is given something to you, R. This and A, this and B. So suppose they ask you what is EMF induced here, right? Then how will you answer? You said EMF induced will be BLV. Okay, magnetic field is given, some magnetic field is given, some velocity also given. What is the length now? That's important. Length means not pi r. Length means shortest length between this end to that end, right? So that is what R and R. So what is this? That's what 2R. This much only, okay? Suppose I draw same picture like this way. Some field is there and I put a wire of this shape like this one, some angle shape, that length L, that length L, and they are making an angle of what? This is theta and that's also theta, or angle may be different also, okay. This is the end A, this end what? B, end A and end B. Now I am asking that now what is the EMF induced here, okay. So you will write your formula E is equal to what again? B L into what? V. Correct. Magnetic field into length into what? Velocity, okay. So look here, magnetic field will be given, okay, no problem. Now length means distance between point A to point B. So what you have to do? We have to calculate, use geometry here. This is a triangle, okay. This side we know L, that angle we know theta, so that value should be obviously what? L sine theta, correct. Exactly that thing also what? L sine theta, or angle may be different, this length also may be different, you have to write that distance, okay. So like here becomes what? How much? It becomes like 2L sine theta, yes or no, into what? V. That will be your answer in this case. L sine theta plus L sine theta, that's the distance between what? Point A and B. Suppose you turn this into a closed loop. Some field is there and I ask you that this is the shape, complete circular shape, right now, right, of radius what? R. Now what answer? Look here, and it's moving through this what? Uniform magnetic field. What is the answer? Now BLV. What is L here? End to end distance is what? Is a closed loop. So what is L? L is what? 0. So EMF induced will be 0. But same question I ask you like this way. Like it's a circle, then I give some length here like this end A and this end what? B. Correct. Suppose radius of this loop is given R, that distance suppose from here to here I give R, that distance also give suppose R. Now it will not be 0. This alone this closed loop is 0 because what? Displacement is what? 0. There is no end to end distance, right? but here distance is there between point A and what, point B. So what is the answer in this case? I am writing EMF will be BLV. B, what is length? That R and that also what, 2R. So total distance becomes actually 4R into what, V. Correct. This is second type of question. Hope you understood. We need displacement, means what, shortest and straight distance between point end to end distance, right? Okay. Suppose this shape of wire is given, then we need straight distance. That distance we need to keep in mind. Okay. Sometimes they ask question like this way. Suppose, like they say that this distance is given directly to your rod, so we need that distance only. Okay, for this type of wire also we need straight end to end distance, right? We need just like displacement only, nothing else. Okay, so this is second pattern. First pattern, just finding direction of the current alone. Okay, once a question was asked about capacitor here, like how they have asked, they said that there is some field. Let me draw some field here. This type of field is given, inward field, and they said a capacitor was given to you. This is a capacitor connected like this way, okay, and this loop was moving in some direction. Which direction? Any direction, let's say moving towards that direction P, okay. Then they said that two plates were given, plate A, plate B. Say which plate is positively charged, which plate is what, negatively charged, okay. Yes, so let's find direction of current in this loop first, okay. So what happening here, let's see. Okay, let's adjust our hand. Field is inward. Yes, field is going into the board. Velocity is towards the left. Velocity towards the left. So at this point, current is flowing what upward. I'm talking about this wire. Let's talk about this wire. So velocity that direction. Field is inward. So thumb showing current is flowing like that way. Right? Current flowing like that way. So current, induced current, how it flows? It flows from what? We know that low potential to what, high potential. So it's flowing to this. So this point is what, your positively charged, high potential. That's what your low potential. Remember, be careful. I wrote already here. Induced current flows from low potential to what, high potential. High potential means like we're talking about capacitor is a positive plate. Low potential is what, your negative plate. Okay, then. Okay, apart from the, we have numericals, pure numerical based on these formulas that we discussed all these four. Okay. So I will write those questions now. Okay, let's see some questions based on what, this induced EMF due to the motion of a conductor inside some magnetic field. So look at first problem. A metallic rod completes circuit as shown in the figure. So there is a wire given and metallic rod is placed over this, which slides over these two wires. Okay, so it make a complete circuit. Okay, the resistance of the circuit is given what, 3 ohm. Find the force required to move the rod at 2 meters per second. How much force is required to move this rod at what speed? 2 meters per second. We know force is what? If you remember directly formula is okay. If you forget, then you write like BIL. Then you know I is what? EMF by resistance. EMF is BLV by resistance. This formula becomes B square L square V by R. Correct? Okay, look here. Magnetic field strength is given here. How much given? 0.5. So 0.5 into 0.5. What is the length of conductor given? 50 centimeter. Means again 0.5 meter. Correct? And this is square 0.5. Then velocity is already given 2 meters per second. Resistance of this loop is given what? 3 ohm given, right? Yes, here. That's the length of the conductor. That's the velocity. That's the magnetic field. All are given in what picture. Okay. So how much this comes? 1 you can cancel here. So 1 by 2, 1 by 4 and 1 by 8. So 1 by what? 24 Newton. That will be your answer. Okay. Yes, simple question. Look at this question, very interesting. So in this question they said a square loop is there and it has a resistance of 1 ohm. This is a loop given, its resistance given what? 1 ohm. Okay. It moves out of a magnetic field with a constant velocity V naught. This is coming outward. Okay. Yes. The loop is connected to a resistance network as shown figure. This loop is also connected to some resistance network. You can see 3 ohms some resistance are connected. Okay. At what speed you have to move your loop in order to get a steady current of what? 1 milliampere. Magnetic field strength given 2 Tesla. Resistance of this loop is given, connected to some external resistance also. At what speed we have to move, so we get current of 1 milliampere. Okay, velocity they are asking. Current you want, what is current? Current is called E by R, or you say B L and V by R. Okay, So actually one thing is missing here. There is a square loop. Side was also given as 10 centimeter. Okay. Yes. Side of the square loop is given as 10 centimeter. Now look here. Current is given. So we need what? Velocity. So we need magnetic field. Yes, given directly. We need length of this conductor. That's what 10 centimeter given. Yes, given. We need resistance. So we need resistance of this complete loop. Okay. Resistance of this square loop itself given 1 ohm. Then this network. Let's see this. We have to simplify this network first. What's the net resistance of this loop? See, if you watch carefully, this is nothing but a Wheatstone bridge. They are not in series parallel. It's a Wheatstone bridge. P by Q is equal to R by S, right? So you can remove this resistance. Remember, when P by Q is equal to R by S, no current flows through that middle resistance, right? Now, fifth resistance, G resistance, we call that. So we can remove from the calculations. I have removed. Now look, it's very simple. These are two in series. These two are in series. Then they are parallel. So 3 and 3 become 6. 6 and 6 in parallel. What is the answer? 3. So 3 ohm is the resistance of this network, and 1 ohm is this loop. So here, what is your net resistance we are talking? Your net resistance what? 3 plus what? 1? 4 ohm. 3 ohm is the resistance of this network connected in series with what? That 1 ohm resistance of this square loop. So net resistance becomes what? Your 4 ohm. Okay, resistance we know. We have to find velocity. So look here, velocity we need, which is what? Current into resistance divided by magnetic field into length. Current they gave, we want 1 milliampere, so 1 into 10 power minus 3 ampere. Resistance is 4 ohm divided by magnetic field is given 2 Tesla. Length of this conductor is what? 10 centimeter, means what? 0.1. Correct. We can simplify this. This goes up 2 into 10 power minus 2, or answer is what? 0.02 meter per second, or answer was given 2 centimeter per second, like this one. The answer, okay? Yes. Okay, let's see one more question. They said that find the direction of the induced current in the given loops. Okay, so you see 3 loops are given. One loop is entering into the magnetic field, one loop is moving inside that magnetic field, and one loop is what? Coming out of the magnetic field. We want to find direction. Okay, yes. So actually, listen carefully. How to find direction? Okay, in this loop. So this loop, actually listen carefully, these are loops, okay, not conductor. Okay, conductor, then you have to use your hand rule to find direction induced EMF. These are general, you have to use what? Lenz's law here. Yes, okay, loop is there. This loop is entering into the magnetic field, means the flux in this loop is what? Increasing, and increasing what? Inward direction. This loop is entering into the magnetic field. The magnetic field is given in this box, suppose. Okay, yes, this loop is entering into the magnetic field. So here flux is increasing inward direction. So flux due to induced current should be what? Outward to reduce this. We want outward flux, means your current should flow in this loop as what? Anti-clockwise. Okay, yes. And this loop is moving inside a uniform magnetic field, right? So magnetic flux link with this is not changing. So no EMF induced here, no induced current here. I is 0. Correct. This loop is coming out of the magnetic field, right? So magnetic field is reducing, or magnetic flux is reducing in which direction? Again inward. So our flux due to the induced current should be also what? Inward. So here current should flow is what? Clockwise. When clockwise current is flowing this loop, our flux due to induced current will be what? Inward. That will help you to increase it. Okay. So this example was not based on this recent topic. It was based on what? The Lenz's law. Keep in mind. Okay. All this. Okay. So after this, I will discuss some more example where we write this formula, that BLV, EMF induced due to motion of conductor, is what? BLV. I will talk example of like airplane, then train, okay, human body. This example I will discuss with you. Okay. Okay. So we are talking some more example where EMF is induced due to what? Motion. Okay. So in the pattern that I am talking right now is in terms of what? The magnetic field will be what? Due to the earth, or we'll talk like earth's like magnetic field, horizontal component, vertical component we'll talk. Let's see how it asks. So first I say like, okay, heading I should write like motion of conductor in earth's magnetic field. Okay, yes. Okay, first example I talk about rod. Okay, okay, a rod or straight conductor, you say. A rod is moving, okay, and through some what? Magnetic field produced by what? Earth. So look here, how a rod can move. Okay, look here, we talk some possibilities here. First type of, okay, you have a rod hold it vertical and move like, okay, simplest way is what, like this one, this road horizontally and moving what, horizontally, right now. Rod we holding horizontally and moving also horizontal plane, okay. Then what we need the vertical component of Earth's magnetic field like this, okay, to cross some flux through this, okay, to induce some EMF. So first case we are talking a rod is moving, okay. So rod we are holding horizontally and moving through the horizontal field of Earth, right. So it will cross the vertical component of Earth's magnetic field, okay. Then write in words here, rod placed horizontally, okay. Okay, rod we are placing like horizontal, not vertical like that way, okay, correct. Rod placed horizontally and moving also what, horizontally, keep in mind. This is a rod, once more, your pen is rod, we place like horizontal like this way, this is placed horizontally, and how is moving in horizontal plane, okay, moving horizontally with respect to what, Earth's surface, right now. Then it will cross what, vertical component of Earth's magnetic field, right, it will cross what, vertical component of Earth's magnetic field. So this was a rod and it was moving, so it will cross what, vertical component of Earth's magnetic field, this is the length of the rod. So what is EMF induced in this case, it will be BV, vertical component of Earth's magnetic field, and length of this and velocity of BLV formula only, but rod moving horizontally, it will cross the vertical component of Earth's magnetic field, so you write here BV, correct. BV and BH relation I discussed in last topic itself, okay. Suppose rod is placed horizontally and moving in vertical plane, this you can say horizontal plane also. Now see, this is a rod, okay, placed how much, horizontally only, but how is moving, is moving like up or down, like this one is falling or moving up, right. This case, in this case it will cross what, the horizontal components of Earth's magnetic field like that, okay, yes. So in this case what will happen, how will write formula, E will be BH L into what, B, like you can drop rod also like this way, okay, yes, place horizontally with respect to like this way, and when dropping this, so it will cross the what, horizontal components of Earth's magnetic field, okay. This is a rod example, okay, yes. Now see other example like airplane problem, okay. Airplane also we have two possibilities. Suppose airplane is cruising horizontally, okay, yes. First airplane is what, cruising horizontally, this is airplane, then it will cross what, vertical component of Earth's magnetic field, right now. Airplane cruising what, or moving horizontally, then will cross what, vertical component of Earth's magnetic field. This question was asked in our exam also, very important. So first case is what, airplane cruising or is said horizontally, right now. Yes, airplane is flying what, horizontally, okay. This is your airplane, and how is flying? Is flying what, horizontally. It will cross what, vertical component of Earth's magnetic field, BV. So EMF induced across the tips of this wing. Here this is the end of the wing, that's the end of the wing. So this end to end distance will be given, that's called wingspan, okay. So EMF induced in this airplane will be B vertical, vertical component of Earth's magnetic field, length and velocity of the, velocity of airplane always they gives in kilometer an hour, so you have to convert into meter per second, and length, what is length here? Length is called wingspan. Wingspan means what, your end to end distance, okay, between what, wings. So wingspan will be given to you, end to end distance between wings, correct. So that you have to write as a length here, okay. So airplane cruising horizontally, flying horizontally, how much EMF induced? Magnetic field, which component? Vertical component. Length means wingspan, end to end distance, and velocity of that our airplane. Suppose airplane is like you say diving vertically downward or vertically upward, okay. So you say airplane diving vertically, vertically downward or upward, doesn't matter. So when airplane is dying vertically like that way, this suppose airplane is dying downward, okay, yes, velocity downward. So we need what? Horizontal field now to cross, okay. Airplane, this airplane coming downwards, so we need horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field to cross it. So in this case, EMF induced, E will be like B horizontal length and what? V, that will be your EMF induced. Okay, airplane. If you see train problem, okay, train moves on rail, right? So there is a distance between rail. So train moves, generally how train moves? Horizontal only. So we need vertical component, okay, to cross the magnetic field, so that some EMF will be induced. So look here, we have rails here, these are two rails. So there is some distance between rail, that's what your length here, distance between two rail, right? Here we have wheels of our train, right? Yes, so train moving like this way, horizontally train moves, we need vertical component of Earth's magnetic field, right? So if they ask EMF induced in train is what? B, okay, vertical, okay, train moving horizontally, we need vertical component of Earth's magnetic field, length and V. Here length is what? Obviously distance between rails, right? No? Distance between rails, correct? Okay, you can talk about human body example also, like human body, some body is there and he is running like this, man is running like this way, okay. How man runs? This is the man running like is vertical standing and running. Then what field we need? We need horizontal field to cross it, right now? Yes, not vertical, horizontal field we need. So EMF will be induced across the length body of the human. So how you write EMF induced? You say B what? Horizontal length and what? Velocity. Here length will be obviously height of the body, right? Height of that person, okay, who is running. So these are example of what? Your conductor is moving linearly, okay, linear motion. So your dynamic, you say that, or motional EMF is what? Induced, right now? Yes. So these all are example I discussed with you. Now after this we'll talk like I said that three types of EMI we have. So static means like self-induction, mutual induction, already we have done. This was dynamic or motional. Now third type of periodic, that we talk when somebody is rotating, okay. Like we see example, we will see the example of generator or dynamo where the coil will rotate, okay. Yeah. But here we have one more case here also. Here I discuss all example when like your rod or conductor is moving in a straight line, falling vertically or moving horizontally, but in a straight line, okay. Suppose this same conductor started rotating in that magnetic field, then what will happen, okay. So I am writing a special case here. So I am writing heading like this way, conductor rotating in magnetic field. You have some magnetic field and your conductor started rotating there, okay. Then what will happen? Suppose you have a rod, there is a rod, okay. This rod has some length, let's call that length L, and this start rotating about any end, this end suppose started moving in a circle like that way, and it was placed some magnetic field, let's say inward outward, some magnetic field was there. So this rod started rotating, okay, with some angular velocity, let's say omega. Generally when we talk circular motion, we talk angular velocity or frequency, right? So this rod of length L started rotating like that way. This end let's call O, this end let's calling A. Then what happens again? Some EMF will be developed across the two ends, right? Yes, it will develop. So how much that develop? So that EMF developed due to rotation is given by this formula, half B magnetic field angular velocity. Okay, let's write properly. Okay, correct only. B omega and the length, like radius we call properly radius of circle means simply length of that conductor, we call it what? L square. B omega into what? L square. That's called EMF induced if your conductor is rotating in a magnetic field. This is actually EMF, or you say potential difference between this point and that point, okay. Half B omega L square. Your omega is what? Your angular frequency or your velocity. So omega is also equal to what? 2 pi f you also know, or 2 pi by t. Anything can give, they can give time period of rotation, or they can give frequency of rotation. Frequency generally they say like RPS, like revolutions per second. Sometimes they can give RPM also, like this rod is making what, 100 RPM. Then you have to convert first into RPS, that's your frequency. So RPM given, then you divide by 60. We know that RPS, revolutions per second, nothing but what, RPM by what, 60. So sometimes they use RPM, divide by 60, you get RPS, that's what your frequency. Revolutions per second, something per second is what your frequency, right? Okay, so you can find omega and put in this formula. L is the radius or length of this conductor. Okay, so this is potential difference of or EMF generated between what, this point and that point. You know, same question was asked like this way. Suppose this is a rod, this is a rod, and it start rotating about this point, its midpoint, like that way. Correct? Yes. Say that piece has length L by 2, that's L by 2 or LL, doesn't matter. Okay, so this is point O, that's point A, that's point B. Now watch carefully. This rod spinning about its midpoint. Okay, this rod was spinning about the end point like that way. Okay, this rod is spinning about its midpoint like that way. Okay, now I ask you that what is the potential difference between point A and point B? If I ask you potential difference or EMF generated between what, point A and what, B. These are point and 2 point, right? What is the potential difference? What is the answer? 0. Why? Because some potential will develop here, same potential develop here also. Both are the end point rotating at same distance from center, right now. So here potential difference will be what? Keep in mind 0. But they ask here potential difference like O and A or O and B. Yes, same answer only, right? Potential difference between what? Point O and A. If I ask you what is the answer, then normal. What is the answer? E is equal to half B omega and what, L square. L means what? Let me write length. This piece has L, that piece has also L from here to here. Okay, that is easy. Same potential between point O and B also what? Same answer. O and A also what? Same answer. But they ask A and but B to any 2 point on this circumference. Okay, then potential difference is what? 0, because they have same potential. This point and that point should have what? Exactly same potential. Okay, this question I will see one more format in terms of wheel format. Look at here, wheel problem. Look here, as you know that this wheel consists of what? Any wheel consists of mainly 3 parts. One is called rim. This outer circular part is called rim, right? Yes. Then here we have axle, right? That part is called what? Axle. From axle we have spokes, right, which are connected with our rim like that way. So these rods are called what? Spokes. Correct. So when wheel is rotating, suppose wheel moving in horizontal plane, or generally wheel rotate in what? You can rotate anywhere. You can rotate vertical plane or horizontal plane. For example, suppose I don't have something to show you. Suppose it's a rod only, but suppose this is a wheel, assume that is spinning like that, okay, this way. This is called rotation what? Vertical plane. Then you need what? Horizontal field to cross this. Or wheels rotating like that way. This is called what? Horizontal plane, right? Then we need what? Vertical field. Okay, simple example. Suppose some vehicle is moving in what? Horizontal road. Then the wheels are rotating in what plane? Vertical plane. So we need horizontal field to cross them. Then we need what? BH component. Or you are spinning some like book in your hand, okay, like the plate you can spin your hand, that will be what? In what plane? Horizontal plane. So you need vertical field to cross it. Okay, so what I'm saying, suppose this is a wheel. Okay, here they ask like what? They ask that how much current produced, induced current and induced EMF. Okay, so here one thing always I say that when they ask wheel problems, the resistance of this rim is then neglect. Otherwise this problem becomes what? Very difficult. So they make it easy. How? You say resistance is what? Negligible. Okay, resistance is negligible. Okay, correct. Now look here, then resistance of each spoke will be given to you, each rod will be given to you, number of rods will be given to you, axle is there. Okay, resistance of axle also negligible. Okay, now here how to solve this problem? EMF induced we want to. So see, when resistance of rim is negligible, then how these spokes are connected? So spokes, how they are connected? All spokes, okay, how they look? one end is here, one end on the rim, and rim is what? No resistance, so all endings are same only, means they are connected in what? Parallel. So all spokes are connected how? In parallel, correct na? Yes. So if they ask what is the current produced this center or this rim, if they ask potential difference between any two rim point, like I ask you, this is one point and this is one point, point A and point B, what is the potential difference between these 2 points? 0. Same example I discuss here also, and two ends are there, this is a rim only, this is like any point on circumference, potential difference is what? 0, because same potential they have. Any point you talk on this rim, potential will be same or potential difference will be 0. Potential between axle and rim they can ask you, yes. So suppose they ask this question, potential difference between axle and rim, then what is the answer? Same answer, E is equal to half B omega L square, where L is what here? Length of the spokes. All are connected in parallel, right? So potential remains same actually in parallel. You know, if we connect batteries in parallel, the net potential is same only. These spokes, they behave like a batteries. You can draw a battery here, small battery like this one, okay? They generate some what? EMF. You can write like this, okay? Yes. But all are connected in parallel. So EMF, suppose for each is what? E. Then its total also remains E only. So if they ask that what is the potential difference between axle and rim, what is the answer? Same formula, half B omega and L square. L is the length of the spoke. Then they ask current, then you need net resistance. So what is net resistance of circuit? Look here, watch here. This all spokes of each resistance are connected in what? Parallel. And how many spokes we have? N spokes. The net resistance become R by N, correct? R is the resistance of one spoke, N is the number of spokes. All are connected in parallel, so directly we can find net resistance, simply R by N, okay? Similar resistance are connected in parallel. So current is what? If they are asking current in this blue, then is E by R, right? E we know that, resistance we know, we can divide them, half B omega, okay? I'm just writing this much only, E by what? R net. You have to divide them, that gives you what? Your net current, right? Yes. So spokes are connected how? Parallel. Resistance of rim we neglecting always, otherwise we cannot solve this, okay? Yes. Number of spokes will be given, resistance of each spokes will be given to you. They ask you what is the potential difference between axle and rim, that's normal formula, right? And if there's current flowing, then need net resistance. Net resistance is what? Simply all spokes are connected in parallel. So resistance of any one spoke by total number of the spokes, okay? So and current you finding, this is the current to find, okay? Yes. So these all were examples of what? Motional EMF. Conductor is moving in a straight line or rotating also, then some EMF is developed across the end, so that's called what? Motional EMF, okay? Yes. Okay, now apart from this, we have now applications of this EMI. So we have two in our syllabus. One is what? Your transformer, which work on mutual induction principle. Then we have dynamo or generator, okay? So we'll talk all about this in the next lecture. Thank you so much. Have a good day.